Quarter turn to the right.
You've talked.
Call out. This is for the judges to submit in their head when they get to call them
Quarter
out.
turn right.
The ones they want to peaks in May at the New York. Look at how wide Hadi's shoulders are from one to the other.
His legs from the back look stellar. They're really popping out there.
Well, if we're going to be Monday morning quarterbacking and miss 4 call-outs, Hadi
Relax, quarter turn
standing
to
out
the
in
right.
this 4. And that says a lot because you got William Bonac in that lineup. I said earlier that Hadi's measure is going to be William Bonac. That's going to be the guy he has to get by in order to get recognized.
Thank you.
When I came up, I had Lee Labrada. That was my guy.
Wow.
Hadi's guy is...
And let's have our second group of 4 competitors on the center line, please.
His legs from the back look stellar. Is Dexter the only one from your that era still competing?
Dexter's like a vampire. I mean, Dexter was around when they had the cassettes, before they made DVDs, and they didn't have cell phones back then. You had a beeper on your thing. Dexter goes way back. Yeah, he's.
Relax, quarter turn to the right.
And that says a lot because you got a very long time, and that's not mistaken. It's not lost on anybody who's done this sport.
All right, now we see the comparison.
Quarter turn right.
I said earlier that Hadi's.
Thank you.
When I came up, I had Lee Labrada. That was my guy.
Wow.
Hadi's.
Oh, Michael Lockett looks good.
Oh. Yeah, see, Michael's got those traps, but then there's nothing else on the back. You see, he's a lot more all the way down. Where Dexter, he's got that middle, meaty stuff going on, the nasty stuff.
Steve Kokolo had some nice width as well.
That served Steve well in his career. He's
Face
wide.
Also one of the top, about 5'10", 5'11".
Thank you.
Yeah, he's pushing 6 feet tall.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Right this way, please. Tony will direct you off the stage. And our third group of 4 competitors on the center line, please.
Yeah, we're just kind of like analyzing these guys, but they're not being measured in terms of who won that call out. You know what I mean? The next round would be the one where they get actually scored.
And that is going to be interesting. We've got Big Cedric. We've got Luke Sando there. Jonathan.
Front double bicep.
And we got, these are pretty tall guys. Luke's pretty tall, and look at the tiny waist that disappears right here on this guy. Cedric, the lines in this group
Relax,
is very
quarter
nice.
turn to the right. Quarter turn.
هذا كلام صافي هذا باين حي طويل أصحابي good.
Back double bicep. Relax, quarter turn.
Water in the back, especially in the glutes. Luke is going to be trying to play catch up. He's going to have to pull some water between tonight and tomorrow for us to give him a little bit more recognition.
Thank you.
And our final group of 4 on the center line, please.
Front double bicep.
All right, Sean, this is an interesting group of guys right here with some varied physiques that, compared to each other, look really good.
Quarter turn right.
Yeah, and Brandon Curry is standing out amongst these four gentlemen, especially because he's got that awesome front double bicep. I'd like to see Akim and Rolly trade
Quarter
places, and Rolly and Brandon stand next to each other. Look at Akim. He's got high lats, but they're big.
Back double bicep.
Akim is pretty conditioned for a big fella.
No, he is where he needs to be, but he's in this competition. I think he's going to have to go a little bit more, you know what I mean? You're going to have to ring it out just a little bit more, and you don't know that until you're here. A lot of these guys are at their absolute best. Sometimes their best on this stage is not enough when you're dealing with veterans. And I have a distinct feeling that as they pose more, Brandon's starting to get a little shine on him, if you can see him.
Yeah.
He's not adding oil. The water is starting to come out. Rolly is going to, the waterworks are going to Rolly too.
Juan Morel.
They're going to make them work.
Yeah.
And when they start
All right,
working,
folks,
that
you've
water's
seen
going to
the
start
initial
coming out.
groups. The judges certainly got
For
their work
some,
cut out for
you
them.
get harder.
Once again, here at the
For
Olympia
some,
stage,
You look like a mess.
this is your chance to help the judges in making that all-important first call-out, folks. Yell out the name of who you want in the first call-out.
In numerical order.
Here it is.
William, Hattie, Dexter, Steve, Brandon, and Rolly.
That is a great first call out.
It was a predictable first call out. We thought Cedric might be in there, but I almost, with 100% certainty, know that Hadi Chupin being in there might have bumped him out. But the surprise in that call out, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Steve Kuklow's name.
He did.
That's the surprise.
One of your video hits in the last week said he's a sleeper.
Yeah, like Ronnie Coleman was back in 1998. Steve Kuklo is the sleeper, and now he's in the first call out. We'll see how he fares.
Gentlemen, spread out
Hadi
and hit a
Chupin,
front
though,
double bicep.
kept Cedric from this first call out. That's what I believe. Because Cedric might have been in this first call out if Hadi Chupin doesn't get a visa to the United
And
States.
Hadi looks good.
Yeah.
Front lat spread.
Steve is going to have to tighten up a little tomorrow.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about when you
Yeah.
make this type of comparison. You can see the small of what someone has and doesn't have. And this is Brandon's shot.
That was glorious.
His front lat spread just opens up like a 747. And he's making William Bonek look small. Now, he's missing the wow factor he had a year ago. I'm not drawn to him like we were a year ago. He's playing catch up.
One of my favorite phrases to hear coming up was barn door lats.
Yes, the barn door. Barn door lats. I got to tell you, I don't know what else Brandon can do. He's brought what he needs to bring. Let's see how these guys all look. Because in the absence of someone like Phil Heath, there's no three-dimensional roundness and grainy hamstrings and crevasses in the back. So let's see who's going to wind up breaking out of the pack. And Steve looks really good.
Steve looks good. But as you said, this is the best of who shows up on that day with their best.
Yeah, so it's hard to compare against guys that aren't here. And I got to tell you,
Relax.
little William Bonek's holding his own in the back double bicep.
Back lat spread.
See how Steve looks against Hadi. Hadi's so wide.
Yeah, he's not even close to Steve in terms of weight. Hadi's a much smaller bodybuilder, but he looks bigger right now. So that's the illusion that Hadi brings to the stage. Steve's almost 6 foot. Hadi's 5'6", and he looks bigger than him.
Hadi's got, well, we're at, what, 6, 7 guys out right now? How many are sitting out there?
Yeah, 6.
So we know Hadi's top 5.
Yeah, there's no question. He's done what he needed to do. I've always said he's one of the top 5 guys for sure. Now it's a question of where he winds up in this lineup. Steve's dreams come true because he just wanted to be in the top 6, top first call out. And
Now we're switching around.
Yeah, now it's going to get interesting because this is where I think the rubber's going to hit the road.
Abdominals and thighs.
Brandon's in the middle where I thought he was going to be. He's got Rolly on the left, and he's got William on his left and Hadi on his right.
Rolly's abs look good.
Relax.
I think
Steve
William
and
Bonek
Dexter
has
switch.
Rolly.
Oh.
We're going to give the old man a good look here. It's interesting because you can't judge them when they're just standing there. The days of judging physiques in their silhouette and relax it's
Front
gone.
double bicep.
These guys have to be in the pose in order to critique them properly.
All right, William looks good just coming into it.
I like Hadi's quads are just sickly veiny and separated.
Really feathered.
Yeah, kind of a little bit high lat there. And then Dexter's missing that separation. You see the comparison there?
Relax.
Dexter doesn't have that separation in his quads.
Hadi and William switch.
Uh-oh.
That's a good comparison. I'm glad they're giving these guys the opportunity to stand next to each other because for so many years,
Gentlemen,
sometimes you
side check.
couldn't get that comparison. And now they're getting the work that they deserve and the opportunities. Remember, Hadi's probably dreamt about this his whole life. To be compared with Rolly on one side and Brandon on the other. The visa would allow him to come here. And of course, William Bonek, man, he's earned the right to be in this call-out.
Back double bicep.
Brandon looks good.
I think Dexter looks a little heavy around the midsection, especially from the back. It looks like his waist has gotten a little bit blocked. Blocky down low. Soft. He's just a little bit too soft by comparison to a year ago.
Let's see if they move Steve.
Going to be surprised if Hadi Chupa
Relax.
isn't one of the last men standing on that stage.
William and Hadi switch back.
Here we go. It's going to be interesting to see who that top three is and see what changes they make between now and tomorrow night.
Back lat spread.
If I'm going out on a limb right now, my top three, in looking at what I've seen, I'm looking at Hadi, I'm looking at William Bonek, and I'm looking at Brandon Curry. That's my top three. I don't know in what order until tomorrow, but right now, those guys are my top three. I think Rolly's holding a little too water. I think Steve's a little too soft from the rear. And I think Dexter is just, he's not put together the way he should be in order to be in the mix tonight. But that doesn't mean that Dexter couldn't be fourth place.
Yeah.
He's in the top six as far as this call-out's concerned.
Relax. Abdominals and thighs.
Which is some kind of record considering this is his 20th Mr. Olympia.
Not what he came for, but it is pretty impressive. He's a month away from 50.
Yeah, and he would like nothing else than to stand in between Hadi and Brandon. I'd like to see that just for posterity's sake.
Did you see the obliques on that hit with Hadi?
Your favorite, most muscular.
It's coming down to condition, man. This is Rolly Winkler's shot. He owns the most muscular shot. But I think without the detail, the wow factor's gone. Look at the legs. The legs aren't a part of that famous most muscular.
Relax.
I try to think back to other great bodybuilders of the era of the age that were still holding in their 40s. Vince Taylor was that Masters. He had that 5-year Masters Mr. Olympia run from 40 to 45.
Yeah, and you had Albert Beckles. I mean, Vince and Albert Beckles are the guys that are the new Dexter Jackson.
But 49 years old, almost 50, to be top 6 again.
What he's doing is nothing short of amazing. And this contest has not been decided, in my eyes, after looking at what we just saw. So now we're going to see what the next
Cedric
level of competitors.
There's Cedric.
And don't be surprised if after looking at these comparisons that one of these guys tomorrow night, or even two of them, might wind up getting recalled out with what we just saw, which means some of those guys in that top 6 may wind up changing places with one of these cats. So that's to be seen. So what I'm looking at with my professionally trained eye, Tim, which is why they pay me the big bucks, is this is the call-out, a lineup that I think that Cedric should win.
front double bicep.
He is one of those guys structurally that should win this call-out comparison. Luke Sandow's the only one I think qualified to knock him out of this. but I just don't think he brings the genetic structure to challenge Cedric in this
Front lat
lineup.
spread.
And that's the advantage some athletes have. Sometimes you're just blessed with great genetics. It doesn't mean you don't work any less or any harder than the next competitor, but when you put all the pieces together and you have this shape, your eye gets drawn to it. And in this lineup right here, you get drawn to Cedric's silhouette by comparison to the other three gentlemen.
Back double bicep.
It's always hard for me when there's four and they start shifting people around to know who's in the middle.
Yeah, because you got two on one side and two on the left. But knowing these physiques and watching these careers, Cedric's genetic gifts just take him to another level. This is Lucas's best shot. His back double bicep is the one that I think gets him to the Olympia.
Back lat spread.
And then he kind of fades in certain other poses, right?
I can absolutely see that. Now let's.
You got these two guys, and then nobody's wider than Akam, but his skin is so thick you just can't see the crispness.
Side tricep.
Now that's a great shot for Cedric.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of some of the taller guys to get those lines that Cedric gets. Sometimes you get a little blocky, you get down in that 5'4" to 5'6" range. It's hard not to be blocky.
Relax, face
And you
front.
get those big sweeps and those
Luke
big
is in
lines
Luke
like
switch.
Cedric has. They're just aesthetically pleasing.
Right. Well, and Cedric's done a very nice job building up the pecs and the delts and getting big arms and those big hanging traps.
Abdominals and thighs.
It sets everything off.
Oh, wow. Akam came to play.
Yeah, I mean, for Akam, he's done the best with what he has to work with, right?
Your
Again, if
favorite
he could
most
just bring
muscular.
that up into his abdominals and get some more intercostals and separation in the abdominal wall, he'd be in the mix. Lucas has some nice feathers on his quadriceps.
Relax.
Cedric's got some beautiful shoulders and some great separation.
And that's why he hits the poses that he does. He knows which poses accentuate those body parts.
Thank you.
And you can see Luke's hand down, his quads are just holding a little bit of film of water, and his glutes definitely holding water into his hamstrings.
You can't help but think at his age that
Max.
he's got a lot of good years ahead.
Michael,
Yeah, no
Mohammed,
question. He came on strong at the
Patrick,
Arnold Classic this year.
Jonathan, and Juan.
So this is the last call out. I'm surprised that we didn't see Patrick a little bit earlier. He's got such beautiful lines, and he's in good.
I like Patrick's physique.
He's got pretty skin color too. He hits the front double bicep. Big arms for a big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the expo was packed. Meet and
with our sponsors offering all the things that they bring to the table and new companies coming into the fold. I mean, we're expanding every year, and that expo was ridiculously packed for Friday. What's going to happen tomorrow?
it's going to be jammed.
Oh,
You got to come out if you can. Tomorrow, a lot of great
Back
celebrities.
double bicep.
And then the prejudge for classic physique, men's physique, bikini, and I think that's it.
I think that's going to be a wrap, man. But with this last group of guys here, I mean, you gotta wonder, like, these are the guys that may be struggling to crack the top 10. Okay, and I told you Juan Morel had to peak in June. hard to hang on to that, man. It's hard to hang on there. And Max Charles has had the longest time to try to get here since he qualified in November of last year.
Wow.
But we don't get the personal stories of the journeys it takes to get here. I would love if we can get like a 3-minute clip of each athlete to tell us about the trials and
Side
tribulations.
tricep.
I mean, some of us will probably be in tears with what they have to give up and sacrifice to get here.
I also like to hear, and we used to do that with
You pay. You have to
Your
deal with
favorite
it.
most muscular.
well, and it's one of the things that's kind of hit and miss in everybody's mind in the art.
I got mine when I retired. I got small.
And a keen.
As a young guy, before I knew I had bad genetics, I didn't get a tattoo thinking I'd be on this stage someday. I should have
Yeah.
gotten some.
This Tim is an structural things that you're just not going to be able to
Side
fix.
tricep.
Well, Lucas got some great quads. He's got some nice poses. His Steve is probably on cloud 9. He's standing next to legendary.
Your favorite most.
I'm going to let you pick me some keno numbers in a few minutes.
I have a feeling we'll really be pulling up the fourth. I'm not going to predict first, second, and third tonight. You got to come back tomorrow for that right here at digitalmuscle.com. Action starts Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Front lat spread.
And all the questions will be answered. Hottie's quads are ridiculous.
We're getting some pre-answers right now.
Yeah. Look at Brandon. Pretty posed.
Side
Athletic
chest.
looking physique. Got those big arms. His chest is full. Traps are hanging off the bottom of his neck. And this is his pose. He opens that side chest up, and Brandon seems to move away from the pack. And with William, I'm looking more at the deltoid and the bicep. And with Hottie, look at those shoulders and look at the arms.
His tricep is just popping out the back.
This is where
Back
this is
double
the
bicep.
contest between those two right there. That's the fight. But I believe that right now, I think Brandon might have a slight edge. I'm not predicting a champion, but I think Brandon might have a slight edge overall.
Okay, now from the back, Hottie's legs are very impressive.
Yeah, that's his strength. It's his legs. He's a little bottom heavy in that department. Brandon's got that tiny little waist that disappears. To go along with the width. But he brings the
I preferred Williams' quads right there.
Your favorite, most muscular.
And Rolly's quads. Those are big legs.
Yeah, there's no question. But the abs, you can see, start to fade. He's got to control the midsection. Hottie is hard as nails right in his pose.
All right, for those that were at the expo earlier today, you saw great prejudging with our 212 champs. The judges have broken it down into our top 10 finalists here tonight. Fans here at Olympia, are we ready for the 212? All right, here we go. Your finalist from Bahrain, please welcome Sami El Haddad.
From Bahrain, Sammy's no stranger to victory. Won the Irish Championships that Muscle Contest put on a year ago in Limerick, Ireland. Gym owner. He won the Amateur Olympia over in England.
This is his fourth Olympia appearance.
Got a strong following out there in Bahrain.
And to your point earlier, these 212s are all about the same height. I think they run 5'2" to 5'7", and they're all pushing that 212 limit to the end.
Absolutely, and these guys were prejudged earlier today, so they had already been put through the ringer. they flexed and they squeezed and they pulled all the water out, and now we come to the payoff. So they're a little bit more conditioned, I believe, than the guys we just saw in the open category, because that was their first time to work those muscles. This is the second bite of the apple. Doing their posing routine, they're going to have one more confirmation round. So we're going to see the best of what they have to offer. Right now, Sammy's doing a very good job. He's been known for his posing. He's very crisp, he's very seasoned, and right now he's in very good condition.
Don't you go thinking it's hopeless. Thanks for getting lost to be found.
Maybe not the mass of some of the other guys, but I think he was in that first call out.
He would be in the first call out. Really tear him down.
Please
so much.
welcome your next competitor from Kuwait, Ahmad Ashkanani.
You know, Tim, my job is to tear these guys apart.
You're good at it.
And then build them back up.
Kuwait, the place
You can get away with it. I just have to ask questions and let you go.
But by
Yeah,
the
these are
time
my
you
friends.
see
I'm not tearing
pictures
these guys
have
apart.
changed again.
I'm not telling them what they don't already know. This guy right here, he's barely 5 feet 5, right? He won the New York Pro Championships earlier this year. Held off Eduardo. In Ohio, won the Arnold Classic in Australia, the Turn Pro, won the New York Championships this year, and here he is.
Tim Gardner's Tampa Pro.
Did he win the
He-
Tampa?
he did.
Okay, he's been very busy.
He looked really crisp at prejudge. He turned pro in 2016, so
I was there.
all those wins you're talking about, that's a lot of winning. Between then and now, that's a great couple of years.
Yeah, he's not really ripped up on the quadricep. You see, it looks very nice, the hamstring and the quad right now. Straight on, it just needs a little bit more thigh separation, yeah? Long case he made today at the pre.
Was all over that top three.
You can see why. The thighs are feathered. He's slight in the hamstrings, but man, he is conditioned for what he has to work with. There's not a whole lot more he can do. This is the best he's ever been. So no matter what happens, the vascularity trying to peek through there, and he's very confident.
The striations in the mid-back, that's always such a pretty look.
Don't let those lines in the side quadricep fool you. He can squat 4 plates on each side in the gym for repetitions. Very strong bodybuilder and very confident. Don't let his stature fool you. This is a very confident man in the gym and outside the gym in terms of where he is in this bodybuilding space. It's done a lot for his confidence. that if he can get here to the Olympia and compete against the best in the world, he can do anything. Sean doesn't just represent the smaller bodybuilders. He represents all the 212 bodybuilders. I mean, this is a guy that was dreaming of this at my muscle camp in 2010 out in New Jersey. He's an East Coast
That is
guy.
so cool.
Showed up as a fan to learn from some of the best bodybuilders we brought over to Diamond Gym at the late John Kemper's gym out there in Inglewood. And it was really good to see him go from a fan to a pro to an Olympian.
You gotta love those stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Brazil, Eduardo Correa.
All right, from Brazil, representing Black Skull Nutrition.